Hi there, welcome back to Scrap and Coffee. I'm working really hard on my baby first year project, and I've kind of run into a problem because I was going to do 4 pages, and I'm working really hard on decorating the pages. And then I came to the conclusion that with 4 pages, I'm not going to make it with my pattern paper. I've kind of misjudged my paper pad, and I can order extra, but I'm not, with all the shipping delays at this moment, I just don't know how long it's going to take for all that paper to arrive to my doorstep. So I'm going to come up with a backup plan, and I'm going to show you my backup plan so you can decide for yourself if you want to use it or you want to only use the pages. But yeah, let's go for it. I'm going to make 2 half pages, half page 1 and half page 2. They're not going to be exactly the same, so again, you can mix it up if you want to. And I've got some pieces to size, and I've got some Duralar or acetate, whatever you want to use. And I've called them half page A, B and C. So we're going to start with half page A. And what I did is on the bumpy side of that, it has 3 score lines. It's going to form, it's not really going to form a pocket, but it's going to form your binding page. On the bumpy side, I've drawn 2 window frames in here, and you can fit a photo in the middle. And I'm going to cut it out, and I have put a diagram in the tutorial for how to draw these 2 windows. So I'm going to cut this out, both of them, by giving that a little punch there in the corners, and I'm going to use my ruler and knife, and I will probably speed up the video a little bit. Okay, so this is cut out. Now before we are going to do anything, I'm going to get my half page C in, and I also put a little eye in there for the inside, because this is slightly smaller than your B piece. It's not so much, but I just marked it for myself. What you want to check is that you are able to stay in between your score lines. If you're not able to stay in between your score lines, you might want to cut a hair off, eitherwise on the long side or on the short side. But I've miscut here a little bit, but I can still make that work. So then I'm getting myself some washi tape. I'm going to place it in between those score lines, and just don't give too much pressure. You want to get it off later on, but I'm just sticking that down for myself. Then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to draw those 2 frames on that C piece. So we can cut those out as well. And then I'm kind of thinking, because we want to do the same thing on the B piece, but this one is, I think you can line it up with the score lines. Yep, that would work. And again, I'm just using that same piece of washi there. Just carefully, don't push on it too hard. You don't want to damage the cardstock. And I'm going to do the same thing. We are going to cut out those frames as well. to the side. I'm going to start with the C ones. Did I put that back? I put it there. Okay, so that's all prepared now. I am going to keep that one here, the C piece. Place the B piece to the side for a second. I'm going to get my A piece in with the bumpy side facing me, and I'm getting 2 of my acetate pieces that we are going to glue on there, and I'm going to use some double-sided tape for that. And I'm just going to place the double-sided tape around the perimeter of the Duralar or the acetate. I'm going to use a 1/4 of an inch tape for that. Okay, so I actually just prepared all full of 4 of those acetate pieces. That's done. So we are going to place the first 2 on the bumpy side of our half page A pieces. Just make sure you have a nice border all around, stay in between your score lines, but that should not be a problem. Just I carefully burnish on my tape, and I will also use a dry microfiber cloth to clean up that acetate a little bit, especially on the inside, because you won't be able to reach that anymore. Next step is to place our half page C piece in there. Now I do have to check, I think it should be going like this, I'm not sure. Pencil lines are on that side. Just have to figure out how this is going now. I think like this. You just try to line up your frames the best you can. I know I've lined it up with my score lines. That's my guideline. Yeah. Okay, so here I'm going to place some double-sided tape around the perimeter, and I'm going to use some wet glue around the frame carefully so we don't smoosh it onto our acetate. And I'll probably combine some wet glue on my double-sided tape as well, so I can give myself a little bit of wiggle time. You know, layering all that cardstock with those frames, that's not easy. It's not easy to get it all nicely lined up, clean edges. We just do the best we can. Put some wet glue on there. That's just to give me some wiggle time. And then carefully, but I'm not going too close to the edge, not too much. You might want to put a little bit in the middle as well. There. So I'm having my eyes on my frames. Also checking my score lines here that I'm not going over. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I better keep this close. Clean it up a little bit more. Now before I'm going to do anything, I'm also going to have this one. See how I've done with that. Okay, that looks pretty good actually, so that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to write here up with my score line on that side, and also up is that side. This I have to remove later on. But first, now let's tape that up. Let's tape that up. Same thing, tape around the perimeter, and then when we're ready to glue it down, some wet glue around the frames and also on the double-sided tape for wiggle time. Okay, so this is prepared for later. Now we are going to put some fun stuff in our frames. Now it's not really going to be a shaker, but we want to put some fun elements in there. If you want to, you don't even have to, but I think I want to do it. So this is my little embellishment, yeah, how do you call that? Cup pin. I just have some stuff in here. Sometimes I make a shaker and I don't like it and I just cut it apart again, remove the stuff. Well, that's in here. This is too thick. So I have a couple of sequins. I have some chunky glitter. I try to spread it out a little bit, and I don't like to put in too much, but you can go with as little or as much as you desire. No, not that one. And then some chunky glitter. This is from Recollections that I got at Michael's. I don't want too much, just a little bit. That might even be too much already, to my liking. Like I said, it's not really a shaker, it's just a fun element. This whole thing is actually just a fun element that gives you opportunity to place one photo. So now we have our other two pieces of acetate, and on one side I have the double-sided tape, but I'm going to stick this down with some wet glue. So on the other side. Come on. So here is my tape, and I'm going to put some wet glue on this side. I'm trying to stay close to the cut edge. You can also place it on your cardstock. And just cover that window there. You can use an anti-static tool if you want to. That's one. There we go. So next step that I'm going to take is to miter the corner of this A piece. So just go with it however you like. And fold and burnish on your score lines. So that's why it's important to stay in between the score lines, because you want to be able to fold on them. And I'm going to stick the side flap down with the longer flaps. Or actually I'm going to do it like this. Doesn't really matter in this case, because you're just going to, and I hope this works. The tape on this one wasn't really necessary actually, I just think of that now. So it should be going on here like this. Okay, I'm kind of thinking okay, first I'm going to taper this. I'm also just going with the flow here. But I have to create a pocket page for my binding, so that's why I'm doing it like this. Just going to give that a really good burnish. I'm just going to make sure that this is lined up. What I might be doing, I have the tape there, so that's great. I'm going to use the tape that I have here to stick this down as well a little bit, so it stays a little more flat and not so much the space in between the layers like with a pocket. Yep, so I'm just going to do this bit by bit. Let me get a tool. Just remove the tape backing here. So we can also stick this down on it. It stays flatter. Can move that one. And that one. And I'm just going to take my time to line this up here. You could combine it with wet glue to give you some wiggle time. Just taking it slow. And I might put a little wet glue here. Come on, I don't want my glue to be dry. And then I need to remove the side pieces. yeah, one thing that I didn't think about is I need this to be open, of course, to get it onto my binding. Not smart, not smart at all. So you don't want to stick this down all the way to the edge, of course, because now you're not able to put it on your So I've kind of stuck it down. I can use my undo, of course, to fix it. I also need to place something on here because that's... I was not thinking, people. I just went like, let's stick that down, but you don't want to stick that down, of course. Just put it on the hinge and I will decorate it when it's on there. So let's get my cover in. My cover. Let's see. Let's get the box. It's not stuck down yet, so I'm going to get the box out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place page 1, page 2, and then on the third hinge I'm going to do my half pages. So what I did is I marked onto where my half page is going to be. Let's get this out of the way. And then I'm going to make a cut. I will put that in the cutting guide as well, of course, for people who want to do it. So what I'm going to do is I've made a tick mark there and I've made a tick mark there, and I'm going to cut with an angle towards that tick mark. It's a tick layer that I need to cut into, like that. So I'm actually cutting in a V shape, and I'm also going to do the same thing right there. And then I have a little bit of space in between those two cuts. So let me get a small cutting surface and a knife, and I'm going to try to make a somewhat clean cut there. And I have to get through all my layers here, so yep, there we go. So this piece will be going I really need to cut that. I'm so not structured right now. You forgive me, right? I just had to place a tape backing back there because otherwise I was going to stick down my sides. I'm going to place this piece on the top, so I can decide what do I want to be the front and what do I want to be the back. But it's... let's see if I can get it in far enough. I can. Okay, that's good. So I remove the tape backing on this side. I think I saved it. So make sure you don't stick it all the way to the edge. That's really important because you want to shove it onto your hinge. And now I can stick it down there. And then of course I also have to stick down this side. So let's remove the tape backing. I can get it. Okay, that's on there. So I still need to clean up my pencil lines a little bit and yeah, of course decorate it. I am decorating everything off the hinge. It's easier for me, but in this case I just wanted to make sure that it's all alright. So it gives you a photo opportunity here and also on this side. Now this looks a little bit weird because there are no pages in here yet. But that's the first half page. A little messy, but that's the idea. You will see the end result. Okay, so on to the second half page design. For that, I've got another half page E, and I have a half page D and E, and I have another piece of acetate, or in my case Duralar, so I can score and fold it. So let's start with B and D. So B is the same as for the first style, no score lines or anything. D has two score lines taped on the dented side, so let's fold and burnish on those. Let's do that this way for a cleaner fold. And right there I've made a little tick mark 1 1/4 from the cut edge. And I'm going to cut another angle, and that's optional, of course. Like all the angles are in the book. I want to have that one on top. So I'm lining up that pencil mark with that corner there. And give that a cut. So this is going to form the actual binding. Now I really need to think about it because I want it there. Do I say that right? Because it's going on the back. Yeah, so once you have your B piece here, you want to have it on your right hand side. Line it up with the right edge and the top and the bottom. So maybe I wanted to make the cut in the other direction, but that's okay. I can live with the fact that it's the other way around. So I'm just going to place that right there. Line it up as good as I can. So you can also remove your tape backing partially, just do that in steps. So this is going to be the back. So first I'm going to place this one in the front, that's piece E. And what I did is I've also made the slit with my envelope punch board, just like I did on the stack pocket on page style number 1. And because I wanted to have it come back somewhere. You don't necessarily have to do that. So score lines are on 3 sides and tape is on the dented side. And I am minoring the corner there. Let's fold and burnish the score lines. So now my B piece, we've just placed this, and I'm going to flip it over, and the pocket is going on the bottom. So I'm going to start lining it up there, I think. Yeah, let's go from the corner. Yeah. So I'm just working my way from the right bottom corner towards the left. So I am going to place this piece on the bottom of that two half hinges, so you can put a larger photo mat in there, and then we'll hold the other flap in place as well. So this is the front, really easy, just a pocket, you can put stuff in there, and on the back we have this pocket, and we are going to make that stack pocket like we did a couple of times in the on the pages as well. So I'm just going to eyeball it how far I want it. I think about something like Something like this, I think. It's just for some small photos or a tag or something. Try to keep it straight. Mark where that pocket that's already on there is ending. And then I'm going to cut straight on the 1/2 inch flap towards that mark. And from the bottom I'm going to cut with an angle towards the mark. Rub away that Sharpie. Okay, let's see how that fits. Okay, not too bad. You can stick it down. And then that's actually it to this 1/2 page. Really simple. It reduces the bulk in your album and it saves on pattern paper. So I think I made the right call for that. I do have that page made already, so I probably will show you how you can turn that into a 1-page folio. So remember, if you place your tape on that acetate piece, stay close to your cut edge so you can hide it with your pattern paper. There we go. So it will be in the album like this. 1/2 page for some extra photos or fun stuff that you want to keep. Yeah, I'm going to decorate the final page and then we can attach the pages in the album. So maybe I will put it in one video, and otherwise I'm going to split it depending on how much time how long the videos are. So just for now I'm going to say thank you for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.